Welcome, everybody.
To River Youth. We are so glad you guys are here. How's that taste, Dillon?
It's really good. Hot root beer.
Really good?
Yeah. What did you do to my cup? I don't know.
Oh, man. You might be watching on Instagram Live. You might be watching on YouTube. You might be watching on riveryouth.online.church.
Yes.
So wherever you're watching, thanks for joining us tonight, and it's exciting to be here. I don't even know what camera to look at right now, and I know we're live, but which one? Okay, there we go.
There we are.
We're right there.
Hey,
we're with you guys right there
you.
If you're watching on YouTube. Or, hold on, I got to catch my breath. But we're so excited for you guys to be with us live tonight as we are doing River Youth Live online for the month of December, and we have a fun series with you. But right now, you guys can't see it right now, but there is an elf that is on the shelf. And the first person I can't rhyme anymore. The first person to find it and to comment on YouTube or to comment on riveryouth.online.church or to comment on the Instagram Live. Good luck seeing it if you're watching on Instagram Live.
Good luck.
But you can comment and we will maybe give you a prize once we think of it. Maybe a high five or something. We'll wave at you on whatever it is.
Shout out.
But be looking for the elf on the shelf. The competition will end at the end of the Christmas song that will be played in a little bit here with our worship team. But Dillon, what else we got?
Hey, if you're going to be at church on Sunday, which I hope you're going to be, we're doing an ugly sweater contest. You, your family, your parents, your little brother, sister, they can wear ugly sweater, not this one. This one's already taken. Find something that's festive, something that's ugly, something that's Christmassy, and join us on Sunday. It's going to be fun. We're giving out a prize for the winner in each service, so don't miss it. Also, we got some big news, big things coming up this new year. I can't spoil them yet, but when we get back in person, you guys are in for a real treat, and we're excited for what's to come.
It's going to be a blast. But here, another thing is this, as we kind of transition a little bit right now into an offering. A couple weeks ago, we had our 3-2-1 night where we had a little game show, The Price is Right. And, man, it was such an incredible night as we raised over $50,000 for missions. And here's the one thing that I've always said, that we'll stop asking for money for missions when we have met the need. But we always know that there's always a need that is out there. And I want to let you know that if you still have money coming in, we still are taking that Speed the Light money, because each and every week as we kind of get closer to the end of the year, I'm beginning to realize that there is still more of a need that needs to be met. I got a phone call last week from Kirby St. John, our district youth director, and he told me that there's 11 missionaries right now that he has had to say no to because there's not enough funding coming in right now to fund their vehicles or their creative communication, the needs that they need to create or to communicate the gospel to their country of where they're at. And so there's still a need out there. So if you have money coming in, we are going to try to do the best we can to help meet some of those needs that are coming in. On top of that, we just heard from Convoy of Hope through a couple emails that many of their distribution centers have been affected by natural disasters, and they are needing to resupply and rebuild their storehouses and creating product to put in those storehouses. So we are going to continue through the end of the year to push Speed the Light. So if you still have money coming in from the money you raise, make sure you can click the link that is maybe popping up if you're watching on riveryouth.online.church, or you can just comment in the comment section there on YouTube, and we would love to give you the link in order to give online if you want to give online. But we want to give you that opportunity right now to do that as we are going to transition a little bit and go into a time of worship. But before we go into worship, why don't you guys just check out, if you missed our 3-2-1 night, it was a blast. Maybe you just want to watch the recap video because you missed that. So can you just check out this video that is going live right now for you to watch?
just stand up wherever you are right now. Stand your feet. If you want to jump around, that would be amazing.
Get a little cardio in.
A little bit of cardio in.
Before we start off this great night, we're just going to take a moment just to worship and have a little bit of fun tonight.
I was running wild, fell in love with the chase. I've been up and down and all over the place, wasting all my days and nights, never feeling satisfied. Putting on a smile, I was keeping it fake, but there's no imitating what I found in your grace. All the things I've left behind are shadows, now I've seen the light. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In my heart, in my soul, my heart, my all, I know that I know, no, 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 never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. And never, never am I ever getting over living with you. Nothing will change it. All I can say is never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great.
In my head,
In my soul, in my heart, my all, I know that I know, no, 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 never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. And never, never am I ever getting over living with you. Nothing will change it. All I can say is never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. Your love is patient, love is kind. Your love is never hard to find. Forever I am yours and you're mine, alright. Whoa, never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. And never, never am I ever getting over living with you. Nothing will change it. All I can say is never, never have I ever found a love so good, so great. Never have I ever known. Never have I ever known.
we hope that you know this next song. For this, we sing this from the bottom of our heart to you. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Come on, sing it with us. Let's go. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año y felicidad. One more time, come on. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart. From the bottom of our hearts, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas. Hey, why don't you put in the comments, if you found that elf, let us know right now in the comments. Go for it.
Welcome back.
Welcome.
Did anyone find the elf? I'm looking over at our tech crew. If you guys are at home, maybe give a comment, a shout out to the tech crew. We have people that are running cameras, Instagram. They're doing all the stuff behind the scenes right now. They're the ones making it happen. But I hope somebody found the elf so we can give them a high five. And those of you watching on Instagram, I tried waving at you all there. But hi, as we've done in the past, going Instagram Live. But, man, tonight we are excited. We are going to start this Santa versus Jesus. Santa maybe even Jesus. Like a Santa versus God idea. And so we're going to jump into this here and kind of talk a little bit more about this. But there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that have some common ground that people might find common ground between Santa and Jesus. I don't know if you guys have ever thought about this, but somebody brought this to my attention on Sunday. This idea of Santa and God, and how some people think it's maybe the same person, or not same person. They don't think it's the same person,
but similar.
A similar person.
They have more in common than you would think.
Yeah, they have more in common than you would think. So, Dillon, can you tell us real quickly here, as we're looking at the notes, what you think or what your perception of Santa was when you were younger? Did you believe in Santa?
So, just we should probably do a spoiler alert.
Yes.
If you got like a little kid watching, you might want to.
Yes, if you're
who believes in Santa, they might want to go watch.
Cash and don't watch right
something
now.
Something else quick. But growing up, my
Hudson,
parents,
don't wreck it for him.
Yeah, you better tell him that.
He's already done it, kind of. But
my parents, growing up, though, didn't really talk about Santa a lot. You know, we would see movies on TV or the cartoons or whatever, and you would see, the Coca-Cola commercial with the Santa Claus and the polar bears and stuff. But growing up, we didn't really necessarily believe in Santa too much or talk about it. We would celebrate Christmas Eve by opening all of our presents. So it was like a pretty obvious thing that Santa did not bring these presents when Mom would go.
How many people are Christmas Eve openers? Wave at us, hit a like button or something. If you're Christmas Eve openers, you open it a little bit early.
Yes. So my mom would go and she would wrap the presents, and then she would be like, "Can't come into my room right now. I'm wrapping presents." So we knew like my mom and dad bought the presents, but my like Santa moment of Christmas was we would wake up Christmas Day, and we would open our stockings and it'd be full of goodies, and that's what Santa brought. But it wasn't really a big thing that like my parents.
It's like dead giveaway when it's Christmas Eve opener.
Yeah, it's like I know that Santa's not delivering these presents. So,
yeah.
What about you, Kyle? Oh, sorry,
got my own mic.
Yeah, I forgot.
I don't want your COVID. Well, we grew up, and I don't know that we ever talked about Santa being real, or we ever talked about Santa not being real. But I think we even had Christmas presents that were labeled from Santa. I know on my dad's side of the family, we always had Santa Claus would always come at our celebration, and it was never on Christmas Day. It was always some random day. But one of my cousins who looked one of my cousins who looked nothing like Santa, he was way too tan, would dress up like Santa Claus, and he'd come in and he'd try to get the lowest voice he could, and his voice would crack and stuff, and you just knew this wasn't Santa. But they tried. They tried on my dad's side of the family, and he would bring all these gifts. And so we did have moments where we had Santa. We celebrated Santa Claus and opening gifts and things like that. We had presents that were from Santa Claus. But for the most part, we didn't necessarily celebrate it. But here was the dead giveaway, my Christmas Eve opening present moment. Okay, I'm a little kid, right? And I'm just excited. And I know a lot of you guys, even though you might not be little, a lot of the people watching Dillon are so excited for Christmas. And it's only December, what is it? 3rd? December 2nd? December 2? Is it December 2?
Yeah.
What's Mandalorian?
Kyle, you need to get cultured, my friend. I have a Mandalorian advent calendar. I almost said colander, not a colander. That's what you like rinse your vegetables. And calendar. And today was a little Baby Yoda chocolate. So
Wow.
yeah, pretty awesome.
Who's Yoda? Baby Yoda.
You need to just watch Star Wars, Kyle. Sickening.
Anyways, get back to my dead giveaway moment. Christmas Eve.
Dead giveaway.
I'm in my bed, and the door's open because I'm probably scared of the dark. Still am. So the door's open, so the light's coming in. My mom is out getting ready for Christmas and stuff, and lights kind of go off. And so I'm still jacked about Christmas. I can't wait to open my presents. So what do? I sit there, and I try to count sheep or something to fall asleep, because you're just so excited about Christmas and opening those presents.
Count reindeer.
Yeah, reindeer. Yeah, the sheep had fake, kind of like, when you watch The Grinch, the dog that had the antlers, the sheep had antlers like that. But anyways, I digress. So I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to fall asleep. I can't fall asleep. And all of a sudden, I hear something, and I look out, and I'm like, wait a minute. This could be the moment that I catch Santa in the act of putting the presents under the tree. And my mom walked down the steps with all the presents.
I saw Mama.
Dead giveaway. No, not
dressed as
Santa Claus. She wasn't even dressed as Santa Claus.
Oh.
But, yeah, she put the presents under the tree. That was my dead giveaway. That Santa was not real. And so I'm sorry if you're a sixth grader and you're watching. You're like, what? Santa's not real? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry
to break the news. You could have your parents text me if they want, or Dillon, because he broke the news first. But anyways, that's the Santa Claus piece. That's the Santa Claus piece, and some of us have this belief, and we believe in Santa because maybe somebody told us.
Yep.
Maybe when you were a little kid, you went to the mall and your parents placed you on some creepy guy's lap, and you had to tell him what you wanted for Christmas. And I remember one time we took Hudson there, and he freaked out. He did not want to go sit on this guy. He'd never met, who is this guy dressed up? And you tell Santa what you want for Christmas, and, so people tell you the stories, people share the stories, and all of a sudden you get a present under the tree that says, from Santa. Therefore, a lot of us had this belief at some point in our life that Santa was real. And there's also a point in our life where Jesus becomes real to us. And so I remember my moment, but Dillon, I'd like you to share what was the moment that Jesus became real to you?
Thanks. I got mine too. Well, I think the first moment where, I was kind of presented with the good news, and was when I was in Sunday school. I was probably 4 or 5, and my Sunday school teacher probably remembers this better than I do because I was only 4 or 5, and she remembers it vividly. But she talked about Jesus, and then I was like, well, I'm in big trouble. I'm 4 or 5 years old. I'm eating like a pack of Skittles a day, drinking a pint of Kool-Aid. So I was in danger, big time. So I knew I needed to give my heart to Jesus. So that was probably the first time. But I think
give credit to Skittles.
Yeah. Well, hey, when you're on a pack a day, that's a lot. So I'm just joking, but it's probably Starburst, honestly. But yeah, I remember as a little kid, giving my heart to Jesus, and then many, many times since having to, come back to God and it becoming real in my own choice as well. But I think a lot of times, when you look at Santa and you look at Jesus, for me, a lot of people started believing in Santa and believing in Jesus. I heard about Santa and Jesus at about the same time in my life. But the way Jesus was presented to me was he's real. And Santa, to me, wasn't presented that way, but Jesus was. And that's kind of the start for me.
It's kind of like that. A lot of people kind of dance around the bush a little bit. I don't know if that's a saying or not. Beat around the bush?
Yeah, there you go.
Beat around, dance around the bush. They beat around the bush a little bit when it comes to, you even made the camera people laugh with that one. That was my goal. Thanks, Aaron. But they beat around the bush when they talk about Santa, and you're trying to ask questions if it's real, and they try to make things up, it seems like a lot of times. But people that introduce you to Jesus have concrete evidence almost that Jesus is real. And he's presented in a whole different way. And I think that's how it was probably presented to me even. And I was probably 4 years old. I was at a similar situation. My Sunday school teacher was talking about asking God into our hearts, or asking Jesus into our hearts. And it's that moment, as a 4-year-old, you take it literally. You're like, wait a minute, somebody, there's a guy in my heart. And even Cashin, my youngest son, is like, wait, Jesus, God's in me, in my heart? How can that be? A growing person and you take it literally sometimes, but I didn't really necessarily understand it, but my Sunday school teacher is talking about this idea that God sent his one and only Son to the world to die for our sins, and he wants to be a part of our life and to be in our hearts. And so I had this concept, this thought and idea, and I just had no idea what she was talking about. And I think a lot of times as Christians or as people that are presented Jesus, they think the same thing, like, what in the world is this? Like, I need to understand this a little bit more. You need more information. You need to go a little deeper, to dig a little bit deeper, to really understand who Jesus is. And so I went home and as a 4-year-old began to do some of that digging. And every night when I grew up, like, one of the highlights of my upbringing was my dad is really good at telling stories that are not real.
Yep.
Just so you know. Okay, so
not when he's preaching.
Not when he's preaching. You know, that's when he's preaching, you can believe it, but when he's not preaching, question it sometimes. But he would always tell stories of Scarface, Slewtooth, Gruffs that hide in the reeds of the river, and just really quick, funny story on the stories my dad used to tell. He used to tell me stories about Gruffs and Scarface and Slewtooth. We're in Canada. We're fishing in Canada. Every night, Dad's telling all of the kids, Jeremy, Michaela wasn't there at this time, Jeremy and Des and I, telling us all these stories of all these scary creatures, like Santa Claus maybe, that are not real, and Gruffs. And so we're out, and we eat lunch on the island. And so we go to this island, and I jump out of the boat because I have to pee so bad. And I run up into the woods, and my dad follows me, but I don't know that he follows me. So my dad comes up behind me, and he just got done telling me a story about Bigfoot, or Slewtooth, something, Scarface.
Gruffs.
And he comes up behind me and he scares me as he sees my head come up, like, uh-oh, what if there's something out here? And all of a sudden my dad scares me and I turn around and I peed all over him. All over him. Just doused him with that, Doused him with pee. So that's that story anyways. But my dad used to tell me stories growing up all the time, and that was like the highlight of like a night. My dad, I'd crawl into bed with my dad at 4 years old, and he would begin to tell me these stories of all of these creatures and things like that. And he started telling a story, and I said, Dad, I got a question for you. I said, what does it mean to ask God into my heart? And I was doing that digging, and my dad began to walk me through that you must confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead and you will be saved. And it was this relationship that you were asking God to become the Lord of your life, that you would serve him with all your heart and soul, and that he would become a part of you. And so that was how my dad presented. And he asked me, Kyle, do you want to ask Jesus into your heart? And I just said, yeah, I do. And that was the moment that Jesus became real. And it was probably the same year where I found out Santa wasn't real. And I think a lot of times that happens for people. They begin to understand who Jesus is in the same moment that they begin to understand that Santa was not real. And so that's why we're kind of doing this series, this idea of Santa versus Jesus. And so we want to real quickly take you through some of the similarities or differences of Santa versus Jesus. And so First one right here we have for you. Santa Claus, he's an old guy that has a white beard.
Yeah, that's true. God is commonly imagined as an old man with a big old white beard.
Big old white beard. So there's a similarity there.
If you've ever seen a picture like
Beards.
the Sistine Chapel.
I bet their beards make your beard look pretty weak.
My beard game's strong. No beards make my beard look weak.
I think God's would.
Okay. God's, yeah.
Yeah, he makes Santa's look pretty
But
weak.
I'm saying in the pictures.
In the pictures, yeah.
They're kind of scary.
Anyway, Santa, he knows when you are sleeping. He knows when you're awake. You singing it with me? He knows if you've been bad or good. Dylan?
So be good, for goodness sake.
He didn't want to sing tonight. So Santa knows when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. These are the songs and the stories that are told of Santa. He knows when you're sleeping, when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so you better be good.
You better be good. And I think a lot of people think the same thing about God or about Jesus because he's omnipresent. He's, everywhere at the same time. He can see what you're doing. David talks about, where can I go to escape the presence of God? There's nowhere on earth I can go. I could go to the top of a mountain. I could go to the bottom of the sea. Everywhere I am, God's with me. So he's constantly watching, kind of that same. When you sing that song, you're like, are you talking about Santa or are you talking about God? Who knows?
Who knows? But then also, if you think of Santa, if you've been really, really good,
Yep.
If you've been really, really good, you get, and you believe in him. You
Yep.
have to believe in Santa in
You
order to do
need
this.
faith for Santa.
You got to
too.
have faith, and you got to believe, and you got to be good, and you get
good.
some presents in the tree.
Presents, yes.
Yeah.
I love presents. God, if I've been good, if I believe in him, if I have faith in him, then he's going to give me what I want. He's going to let me into heaven. So there's kind of that same concept that people have.
And if you've been naughty on the flip side,
Ooh.
if you've been naughty and you don't believe in Santa Claus, I'm sorry, but you're just going to get a lump of coal
Yep.
in your stocking. That's it. That's all you get.
That is a bummer. If you're naughty with God, though, and you don't believe in him, guess what? You're not going to get to go to heaven. You spend eternity away from him. So
An eternity apart from
the
God.
consequences the stakes have never been higher, though.
Stakes have never been higher.
Yes.
Santa has a bunch of elves helping him out, doing some work around the North Pole.
Yeah, the North Pole, yep.
Yep, Santa's pet.
God has a bunch of angels helping him out.
Working for him.
So
Santa lives up north.
Yeah.
You're talking about Santa lives up north in a magical world.
yep. Have you ever been to the North Pole?
I actually have.
Okay, but the real North Pole or Santa
North
lives?
Pole, Alaska. It is the real deal.
But does Santa actually live there?
I can't tell. I don't want to give it away.
Okay, sorry.
It was a wonderful, magical place.
Well, Santa might live up north, but God lives in heaven, up in the sky,
up
above.
Yep.
So that's north.
Santa-
as it gets.
Kids, a lot of times, will write these letters to Santa. They'll make a list of all of the different things that they want, and they send it
Did
to
you
Santa.
make yours yet?
It's already been sent.
Good work.
Yep. I heard the Postal Service is running a little behind right now.
Yeah, COVID stuff. I heard that it's hard to get North Pole
Anyways.
equipment. For God, people don't write him letters; they pray. So they make their lists verbally, and sometimes before they go to bed, they whisper them or they pray them in their minds, and they send it up north.
There's a lot of people that sing some Christmas carols about Santa. You guys got any Christmas carols about Santa Claus back there?
Carol?
Carol?
You just said one. You better watch out. You better not cry. You better not shout. I'm telling you why.
Why?
Why?
Santa Claus is
coming to us. Oh, yeah. Say it.
Dylan.
Sing it, Dylan.
Santa Claus.
Is there any other ones? Ashley, you got... All right, let's cut it off.
cut.
That's it. Done.
You ain't getting no convertible. It's
Good
Minnesota.
grief.
It's cold out.
Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks.
You want a Sebring with a convertible? Okay.
Good grief. Anyways, Santa Claus. When Santa comes,
Yeah.
gets milk and cookies. I think they're Oreos. I would always like Oreos because Oreos and milk. Good stuff.
Oreos are milk favorite cookie, but no, I don't think so. Chocolate chip. God received tithes, but 10% of the time.
10% of the time. 10%.
10%.
Santa goes by a few different nicknames.
Yeah.
There's Santa Claus,
Saint nicknames.
Saint nicknames, Saint Nicholas, Chris Kringle,
Jolly old Saint Nick.
Jolly old Saint Nick. Yep. Father Christmas.
Yeah. God also goes by some different names. God, Yahweh, Jesus. Okay. Jehovah.
Jesus.
All right. He goes by King of Kings, Lord of Lords.
I know
Father.
there's a place in there where he says, just say the great I am, the great I am.
Yeah. I am that I
I
am.
am that I am. You know?
Mic drop.
I won't, Derek. I will wreck the mic.
Derek got
So those are some of the different similarities and differences that you can find between Santa and Jesus. And I'm hoping that you guys are maybe taking this literal tonight and just beginning to think, what are some of those differences? You know, there's these stories told about Santa. People tell us to believe in Santa. That's typically how it goes. The same goes about Jesus. There's stories told about Jesus, and there's people who tell you to follow Jesus. And I begin to think of, I think a lot of people have a surface level belief in Jesus. I was thinking about this all week long, about how I've even had times in my life where there was this surface level belief in who Jesus was. That my faith in Jesus was about as deep as my faith in Santa Claus was at one point in my life. Because it's just taking people's word for it. It's taking people's word for it. So you believe in Jesus because your parents take you to church. You believe in Jesus because maybe your youth leader or a pastor or somebody told an incredible story out of the Bible that you heard, and so that therefore you believe in Jesus. But isn't that the same reason that many people believe in Santa Claus?
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I was in like first grade. I was in the art room, and we were talking about, do you believe in Santa? And like, as a kid, you probably have had this where you get in arguments because there's kids that are like, no, Santa's not real. You're dumb. I can't believe you believe it. And some people are like, no, he's real. Like, and their parents like go as far as my brother-in-law, his parents would literally take like deer hoofs and mark out the roof. And he believes Santa was real.
Extremes.
Yeah, for like until he was like 25, I think. And so, like, there's those types. There's two camps in the art room. There's like Santa's real, Santa's not real, and it got heated, And then like someone asked me like, do you believe in Santa? I was like, no, I believe in Jesus. And they're like, well, Santa's not real, and here's all the reasons why Santa's not real. And then they asked me like, how do you believe in? This was like first grade, and like, how do you believe in Jesus if Santa can't be everywhere and give gifts to everyone in one night? Like, how can God do the same thing? And so I think there's this idea that we eventually grow out of the fun and the folklore of Santa, and like we grow out of the faith of Santa, if you will. But then people take that same idea and they're like, well, doesn't that same thing apply to God or to Jesus? Like, how can you believe that he is? Because Jesus is a larger than life character, and Santa is too. And and even Santa is, the stories of Santa are based in some truth, but the difference is that Santa's stories got exaggerated. Jesus' stories are true, and I think sometimes people are skeptical about that because they see like, okay, it's just another fake Christmas story. But this Christmas story really happened, and it's Jesus is actually probably the most documented ancient figure, literary figure of all time. There's more works of literature in the ancient world about Jesus than anybody else. And not just in the Bible. There's other historians that talk about Jesus. So a lot of times we forget that, or people try to say, well, how is Jesus any different than Santa? He's just a made-up character. Well, no, there's more to that than just the stories, and it's not exaggerated.
Yeah, and so our hope is that through this series that we do over the next couple weeks, that you guys really begin to dive in and have some concrete evidence and belief in who Jesus is. Our hope is that by the end of this series, the same way that you can prove Santa is fake, that you can prove that Jesus is real. And so that's really diving into your faith and knowing for yourself who is Jesus to you. And recently, I was telling Dillon this earlier, that I've been spending my mornings in prayer, and I spend majority of my prayer time just telling God why he is so worthy. And I begin to share all the stories and the different things that I see in my own personal life that I've read about in Scripture, the miracles that took place. And then I just begin to glorify and begin to exalt Jesus even, and just talk about how Jesus is so worthy to be praised, to be celebrated this season. And so my hope is that through this season that you get some of those stories that you can say, Jesus, you're so worthy. You are so worthy to be praised. You're so worthy to celebrate this season, to look to you. And so over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about where can we find more of Jesus? Where can we find him? Where can we hear God's voice? And where can we look to see Jesus? And so our hope is that over the next couple weeks, you even take some of your own personal time to really dive into your faith in Jesus, that you'll be able to explain to anybody that comes up to you who Jesus is to you. And one of my favorite preachers is Micah Mack. And I love his passion in his heart. But if somebody came up to him and he spends all of his time praying for the next person that he can explain Jesus to, he'll get into a car with an Uber driver and he'll lead him to Christ. He'll be walking in the park with his daughter and he'll lead some young kid to Christ. And it's because he knows that he knows that he knows who Jesus is in his life. And our hope is, that anybody that comes up to you and says, Santa's fake, so is Jesus. They have so many similarities. But because of maybe your research that you've done in Scripture, or you know because of an encounter or an experience you had in prayer at an altar that you know who Jesus is. And that's our hope over this series, that you'll be able to hear from God. And so in just a few minutes, you guys are going to jump into your life groups, and you're going to talk about some of these questions.
Yes. So don't miss next week. It's going to be a great week. We're going to be talking about all of the things that Kyle just mentioned, and also talking about what happens when Santa doesn't give me the gift I want, or maybe God doesn't show up in the way I think. And it's going to be a good series. And so you guys will have a chance in just a few minutes to hop on a Zoom life group. You can click the link. We'll have those posted in the moment or the comments. You guys will be able to hop into a life group and talk through some of what we talked about tonight. And as we transition over there.
Yes, we have a song that is to be played, a special song written by our very own Amber Haugen and performed by our very own Derek Benoit. Would you guys check out this video right now?
Check it out.
As you jump into your life group.
Rocking around 2020 in March, the state shut down. Toilet paper, it's sold like gold, but there's nobody in town. Rocking around 2020, 'cause the Rona just won't stop. My mask is on, I can barely see, and no one's at the coffee shop. You will get a social distance warning when you're near anyone outside your household. 6 feet back, don't cross the threshold. Rocking around 2020, my kids are distance learning. Why did they change how they do math? Teachers need more than learning. You will get a social distance warning when you're near anyone outside your household. 6 feet back, don't cross the threshold. Rocking around 2020, we'll have a quarantine holiday. Let's make new memories in this year, in a new pandemic.